some poems for you, or rants, as I like to call them. And I'd just like to issue a little formal warning. I do swear a little bit, so if you are easily offended, there's the door, you best fuck off now. Right, question for you, and you better answer, right? Who's heard of the owl and the pussycat?
Yep. Yeah.
Fantastic, because this is nothing like that. This is called the propaganda panda and the autocratic cat. The propaganda panda and the autocratic cat took a trip around the world in a new Learjet, champagne for breakfast and caviar for tea. When recession hit, lived a life of luxury. Within a double dip, lived a life of luxury. Everything on credit, no money was required. Mortgaged off the pea green boat, sold it short 10 times. Created first world problems of a global crisis kind. And when it came to pass it, the economy was fucked. They developed Teflon shoulders and tried to pass the buck onto all the working people whose pay was less each day. Then took away the benefits while giving bankers bonuses, forced the unemployed onto welfare schemes, and didn't give a toss about the bomb tree lands. Just plunged them into ever deeper debt, Just plunged them into ever deeper debt. Thank you. The Queen, this year, I wrote a poem for her. Right, she's going to be dead made up. I'm going to send it to her and everything. Apparently, she won an award, 10 gold merit marks or something like that, half a mile, for being the longest serving parasite? No, monarch, that's it, yeah. Or cunt, someone said the other night, which I thought was a bit, you know, right, she's might be nasty, but, oh, come on. Anyway, moving on. I wrote this poem for her, and I'm going to send it to her on scented note paper. This is called Unelected. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days. Never fretting over rent or rates or paying off a loan. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days of never being repossessed, redundant or deposed. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days never being threatened by a bailiff or a judge or sanctioned by the state for being poor. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days, never saving up for lecky bills or running out of gas or being fazed by the questions on a tax credit form. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days of privilege and palaces and working very hard for me, apparently. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days of silver service curtsying in country piles paid for by the nation. Held in trust for future, unelected generations. 63 years, 7 months and 2 days. Fancy that. Lends a tenner, pass the act, gets a job or get elected. Just a thought. Thank you very much. Have you all heard of fracking? Do you know what fracking is?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You should do, because it's coming to a town near you very soon. Fracking, yeah. Into the ground, chemicals shooting out, terribly bad for the environment. Unless, of course, you happen to be the person who's going to make money out of it. And it's just fine. It's fine. Really. Really. Do you know what Gaia is? Have you heard of Gaia? Right? Sort of Mother Earth concept, Earth looks after itself, all that sort of thing, yeah? Good. Right, so fracking, Gaia. Ready? This is my take on it. This is called environmental intercourse. It's just a little tremor. It's just a weeny shake. It's just a teeny tiny itty bitty earthquake. There's no need to worry and no need to protest. It's merely experimental fundamental stress. Environmental intercourse procreating wealth will sell hydraulic power by contaminating wells. Gaia likes a jet inside her, moistening her shale. Hungers for our filthy penetration. Loves to get to fracking from a whacking big drill. Ejaculating methanol will give her crack a thrill. Environmental intercourse, procreating wealth, will sell hydraulic power by endangering your health. This public negativity about our new technology is poisoning the people's hearts and minds. So the air's a little murky and the water's looking dirty, and we took without consent from Mother Earth. So what? Environmental intercourse will make our bullets fat. We'll cock up all your fundaments, then sell you back the gas. We don't care about your children or your future or your health, because we're busy wrecking Gaia to increase our massive wealth. Yes, we're busy fucking Gaia, and we'll please our fucking selves. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can tell I'm a fan, can't you? Right. I usually write poems in response to things. People say you should never write in anger. I think that's bollocks myself. I've written most of my stuff being angry at something or another. And I got angry about the contents of the J report about the lasses in Rotherham last year. I don't know if you've ever read it. Makes for some pretty fucking traumatic reading. And the revelations that have come out since then are just, well, anyway. This is for the lasses in Rotherham, where, by the way, the council slogan actually says, where everyone matters. True. This is also for the senior policeman who believes that a 12-year-old girl is old enough to give consent. Check your fucking real book again there, fella, eh? Yeah. This is called Commodities. Not old enough to vote or wed or give consent, but old enough to be transferred by men to men. Possessed. Not old enough to drive a car, have overdrafts or credit cards, but old enough to be exchanged, expended, property. Not old enough to live alone or own a home, but old enough to be deceived, to be perceived as third and fourth class citizens, as damaged goods and chattel, to be consumed and spent. Just old enough and poor enough to be ignored, exploited, treated with contempt and scorn by lawmen, care and councillors. In Rotherham, where everybody matters. Not old enough to get a job, leave school or give consent, but old enough to be procured by men, for men, possessed. Cha-ching. Thank you. Every now and again, an image will come along in the media. I hate using this word, but I can't think of a better one that's kind of iconic, kind of sums up a certain time. You all remember a little girl in Vietnam with the napalm burns running down the road, yeah? Well, we've had one this year of our very own. And there was a little lad on the beach, washed up. Remember him? Yeah. Aylan. A week before that was in the news, David Cameron reckoned we could solve the refugee crisis by bringing peace to the Middle East. Just like that, just one bullet, bomb, gun at a time. After the global outrage prompted by Aylan Kurdi's photograph, his death,
changed his mind, and he was seen to be doing something. Not much, mind, but seen to be doing something. Never mind all the people who've died before, 70-odd people in the lorry the week before. No, one dead child. And I was horrified by this, in more than one way. So I wrote this poem. This is called For Aylan. I just wanted you to know your lovely bones have not been wasted. That your tiny little body in a picture on a beach made the world sit up and notice that you're there. And I know it's much too late, and you'll never be a father or a lover or a man. But your passing in the tide has helped the families who follow in your wake. And this will never make your mother feel better, feel at peace. But I wanted you to know that your tiny little body in a picture on a beach forced the powers of the world to rally round. And babies shouldn't die in plastic dinghies in the night while their parents flee the trouble that we caused. And the people selling arms to the Middle Eastern maniacs should not be leading countries, telling lies, making wars. So I just wanted you to know your lovely bones have not been wasted. Your tiny little body in a picture on a beach made the world sit up and notice that you're there. Night, night. Sleep tight. Take care. Thank you. Greg did a song that he wrote the day after the general election result. And I've got a poem that I wrote a couple of days after it, because I spent the first 2 days in a state of devastation and crying and raging. Total disbelief. And then I got to thinking, don't let the bastards grind you down. And I wrote this. It's called Majority. Oh, by the way, what was the weather like round you? You know, the day of the result? Because it fucking lashed it down round our way. I thought that was quite appropriate. Majority. And overnight the world turned blue and God cried tears of green and red and no one said a bloody word. Just stood and stared and sank beneath the weight of the world turned blue. And what was left of the NHS kissed us all goodbye. And full-time weeks were drawn and quartered, structured for a blatant lie. And human rights were to be stripped, kicked and tortured out of sight. And overnight the world turned blue and God cried tears of green. And collar colours came confused amidst a wealth of rights refused, and youth will be the new backbone to break beneath the cosh. And fixed up fear of immigration becomes the new asphyxiation, choking folks' compassion with a panicked narrative. And overnight the world turned blue and God cried tears of green and red while TTIP lied and said it had our best interests at heart. So privacy is history, while broken-jawed democracy insists on profit, screaming fat cat policy diktat. And 36 is 51, a skewed majority. FPTP twisting choices, silencing the rainbow voices by percent, by no PR. So lift your eyes from dust to sky. Stand with neighbours, strangers, friends, holding hands and unified. And do not mourn, but organise. not mourn, but organise. Thank you very much. Right, this one's dedicated to you, Stephen. This is based on all the words of wisdom and advice and suggestions that I've received over the years, and what it is to be a woman. Rather, a lady. Basically amounts to a list of things you can and cannot do, mainly the latter. It's called Unsolicited, 1968 to 2015. And it goes like this. You're not allowed to cry in here, this room, this bar, a pint, on deck, to fight or sulk or answer back. To join the local snooker team, to bare your legs or armpit hair, express yourself or sleep around, to shout or swear, to wear short skirts, to wear short hair, grow it, tie it, perm it, dye it, never cut it short. No, to be the boss, come more than once, to suit yourself, to wank, to sweat, to smell or fart, to bleed, release a stream of pee outside of chambered secrecy, be clever, proud, sarcastic, loud, tell dirty jokes or pick your nose. That's not very ladylike, no. To flirt, to age, to speak your mind, to even show your nickerline, bring up a child all on your own, expose your breasts, express your milk so publicly, to smoke, get drunk, get up the duff without a band of gold. 'Cause single mothers are to blame for all the world's depravity. Unsolicited! Thank you.
Yeah.
Mind your nickerlines, ladies.
We've got none on. Don't worry.
Who else has got none on? Ooh!
I've not got any on either.
Right, speaking of ladies. One died a couple of years ago. Very famous one, yeah. Or infamous, depending on your perspective. And ooh, we did have a party. We had a burning effigy and everything. It was great.
Margaret.
That's the one. I wrote a poem about her. To her, really. Celebrate every year, do you? This is especially for her. This is called Dear Margaret. For Orgreave, the Beanfield in Hillsborough. For Operation Swamp 81. For rejoicing in the burning and drowning of men. For the miners, the unions, the working class heroes, for the people whose skin you denied. For the innocents turned into criminals. For giving the force of re-reign to wield batons and tear gas and horses, to weaken and batter them all. For the families who died, for the lies you allowed to be told all this time, never giving an ounce of the truth or of justice for this 96. For the mass destruction of all our communities, psyches and spirits and faith. For my dad, ex-services thrown on the dole 15 times in as many long months. For my mother, dug deeper in poor mental health, the poverty making her sicker and sadder and madder than she'd ever been. For my brother, who lived without wages for years, burned out on a pile of your making. For the youth of myself, for the public disgrace of the free dinner queue, for the old cast-off shoes, for none of the school trips or cookery lessons, for the shrinking grey socks, for the punches and kicks that my mother let fly in her madness, for the ice and the mould inside every window, for the hunger, the shame, my family's pain, for the living we scraped hand to mouth, for all the above, for all our lost years, for all of the grief and the depths that we reached. Dear Margaret, there's no absolution, no forgiveness or pity or grief. Your legacy lives in the fat of the rich. May your soul never find any peace. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. In the words of a band whose name I've forgotten, you've been an audience. Do you ever get to a point in politics and you just like become so fucking disillusioned with them all? And they're all the same and you just kind of sink into apathy, yeah? I do, every now and again. And then something or someone will come along and they'll fire you back up again. And you think, fucking hell, yeah, maybe we do have a chance. And I'm not saying JC's the real deal, but you never know, eh? At least we've got a socialist in charge.
Yeah.
Woo. We'll see, we'll see. This is called...
I'll just take over.
This is for Stephen. This, down your fucking throat in a minute, this is for Stephen. This is called Re-radicalised. With renewed vigour, she set to. Dusted ideas left on the side through new disillusion and the death of red identity. Though never went right, saw the populace sleepwalk, mired by their apathy, silenced by hegemony, powerless to halt a slow crunch into poverty, watched as corruption ate the heart of authority, Tory bastard politics pauperised society. So rattled the bones of 84 days, sharpened her teeth, bared to bite back, raised all the consciousness at her disposal, repeatedly flagging community bulletins, ceaselessly beating out rhythms and rants, battle march melodies full in her blood. All of her thoughts are focused on fortitude, calling up courage and comrades in arms. Re-radicalised! A new day rises. Thank you very much for listening.